Your English is a mess, a total disaster. You don't think that you speak English fluently. How can you fix that? You need to train your brain. You need to train your brain to think in English without thinking. Thinking in English without thinking. Excuse me? What is that?
How do you do that?
You need to use writing perfect sentences. And how do you write perfect sentences? You need to connect your sentences, your ideas in a coherent and cohesive way. Yeah, sure. But how do I do that? Two things. You need to know the different types of sentences. I mean, simple, complex, compound, complex. I have a video for that right there, so don't forget to check it. Number two, after that, you need to connect those sentences with the right connectors. By the end of this tutorial, you should have learned how to use consequently, therefore, and thus. Are you ready? Let's get started. Let's get this party started. I don't think singing is your thing. Stop it. Oops. Therefore, consequently, and thus are conjunctive adverbs. What is a conjunctive adverb? Well, it is a word that joins two independent clauses. What is an independent clause? A clause is a combination of a subject and a predicator. For example, I live in Barcelona. She lives in Madrid. I'm Spanish. She is French. Those are independent clauses. Well, the question now is, what do conjunctive adverbs do? Conjunctive adverbs establish a relationship between those two independent clauses. Now, these ones in particular establish a relationship of cause and effect. What is cause and effect? Let me explain. Think about the following two independent clauses. My friend has been living in the UK for 20 years. That's one independent clause. Number two, my friend speaks English very well. Now, we are going to connect those two independent clauses with a connector, with a conjunctive adverb. Therefore, consequently, or thus. Now, cause and effect. Which one is the cause and which one is the effect? Well, the cause is my friend has been living in the UK for 20 years. And that cause has an effect. She speaks English very well. So, how do I link them? My friend has been living in the UK for 20 years. Therefore, she speaks English very well. In the relationship of cause and effect, the effect is considered a logical consequence. It's a natural thing to happen. It's not strange and is expected. This is actually the opposite to what happens in the relationship of concession with conjunctive adverbs such as nevertheless, however. By the way, if you want to learn about conjunctive adverbs or linkers to express concession or contrast, nevertheless, however, and whereas, don't forget to check my video. The link is up there. Can I replace therefore with consequently or thus? Well, yes, you can, because the meaning is quite similar. Do they actually mean exactly the same? Well, of course not. There are subtle differences, but you know what? It's not worth to get into that amount of detail. That is something that you will achieve with time. But for the moment, don't worry a lot about establishing or understanding every little single difference, because that comes with time. You have to practice a lot. You have to write a lot. You have to read a lot. Try to understand the context and how they are being used. That is going to help you with time to establish the differences and use them perhaps more accurately. For the moment, I think it's a great start. Next, we are going to practice a little bit, so pay attention to the following examples. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. And please, write your own examples. I want you to share your examples with all of us.
Wow.
Well, that's all. How many did you get right? And try to write sentences every day. 2, 3, 4 sentences every day. At the end of the week, you're gonna have 28, 30 sentences. At the end of the month, you will have written 100, 200 sentences. That is amazing. You need to be 1% better every day. That is going to help you speak English more fluently, and it's gonna help you think in English without thinking.